माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण नाम मंत्र की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to morning Bhagavatam class, ISKCON Seshadripuram. And today's verses are, I'll share the verses. Yes, today's verses are third canto, 21st chapter, 23 and 24th verses. Yes. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Viditva Tava Chaityam Me, Viditva Tava Chaityam Me, Viditva Tava Chaitam Me, Pura Eva Samyoji Tat, Puraiva Samyoji Tat, Yat Artham, Atma Niyamahi, Atma Niyamahi, Yadartham Atma Niyamaish, Yadartham Atma Niyamaish, Tvaya Eva Aham Samarchitaha, Tvaya Eva Aham Samarchitaha, Tvaya Eva Aham Samarchitaha. Word to word translation. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Lord said, Viditva, understanding, Tava, your, Chaityam, mental condition, may, by me, Pura, previously, Eva, certainly, Samayoji, was arranged, Tat, that, Yat Artham, for the sake of which, Atma, of the mind and senses, Niyamahi, by discipline, Tvaya, by you, Eva, only, Aham, I, Samarchitaha, have been worshipped. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged for that, for which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Paramatma feature is situated in everyone's heart. He therefore knows the past, present, and future of every individual person as well as his desires, activities, and everything about him. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that he is seated in the heart as a witness. The personality of Godhead knew the heart's desire of Kardama Muni, and he had already arranged for the fulfillment of his desires. He never disappoints a sincere devotee regardless of what he wants, but he never allows anything which will be detrimental to the individual's devotional service. We move to the next sloka, 24th sloka. Na vai jatu mrisha eva sayad. Na vai jatu mrishvasyat. Na vai jatu mrishaivashyat. Praja Adhyaksha mat arhanam. Praja Adhyaksha mat arhanam. Praja Adhyaksha mat arhanam. Praja Adhyaksha mat arhanam. Bhavat videshu. Atitaram. Bhavat videshva atitaram. Bhavat videshva aditaram. Mai sangrabita atmanam. Mai sangrabita atmanam. Mai sangrabita atmanam. Word to word translation. Na, not. Vai, indeed. Jatu, ever. Mrisha, useless. Eva, only. Syat, it may be. Praja, of the living entities, Adhyaksha, O leader, Mat Arhanam, worship of me, Bhavat Videshu, unto persons like you, Atitaram, entirely, Mai, on me, Sangrubhita, or fixed, Atmanam, of those whose minds. The Lord continued, my dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. Purport. Even if he has some desires, one engaged in the service of the Lord is never frustrated. Those engaged in his service are called Sakama and Akama. Those who approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead with desires for material enjoyment are called Sakama. And those devotees who have no material desires for sense gratification but serve the Supreme Lord out of spontaneous love for him are called Akama. Sakama devotees are divided into 4 classes: those in distress, those in need of money, the inquisitive and the wise. Someone worship the Supreme Lord because of bodily or mental distress. Someone else worship the Supreme Lord because he is in need of money. Someone else worship the Lord out of inquisitiveness to know him as he is. And someone wants to know the Lord as a philosopher can know him. By the research work of his wisdom, there is no frustration for any of these 4 classes of men. Each is endowed with the desired result of his worship. So here ends the purport of the second sloka. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaskurun Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya cha Krupa Sindhu Bevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschasya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagra Gramdharine. Yes, Hare Krishna devotees, as I mentioned earlier, today's verses are 3rd canto, 21st chapter, 23rd and 24th verse. So before getting into the verses, let us see the little background of this particular canto, this particular chapter, and this particular verse, what we are going to discuss, and then we will go in detail with these 2 verses. As mentioned earlier, this is a 3rd canto, status quo. So here it is mentioned Sarga and Visarga. This third canto comes under Visarga. That means secondary creation understanding. And in the third canto, the status quo means, say, government passed some amendments, now coming and checking whether those amendments are how it is in the prajas, or how the amendment being, received, or the progress among the common people. So likewise, this third canto also, status quo, already the creation and annihilation happened, and now the status how it is, like that, here the discussion is. And then this third canto being divided into 4 divisions. The first division, second division, and third division already we have done, and we are in the last division. The last division is dealing about appearance and teachings of Lord Kapila between 21st chapter to 23rd chapter. And here teachings of Lord Kapila is our out of scope, because Lord himself appeared as a son of today's discussions, Kardama Muni. And appearance, so Lord's appearance only, the division of this particular, the 4th division of this particular chapter. And let us get into the chapter. The chapter name is called Conversation between Manu and Kardama. And further, this chapter is being divided into 2 sections. The first section deals about Vidura asked about the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu to Maitreya. And the second division deals about Kardama pleases the Lord with his penance and gets his darshan. So Kardama is very fortunate to get the darshan of the Lord. This is being discussed between 13th verse to 22nd verse. That is earlier to these verses. That is, Kardama speaks to the Supreme Lord, all his prayers. You can take it like that. And today's division of this discussion is Lord speaks to Kardama. So this entire chapter, being divided further with Lord leaves and Swayambhu Manu arrives. These all are out of our scope for the discussion. Description of the hermitage. Kardama receives Manu. Kardama speaks to Manu. And then this chapter ends there. But today's discussion is Lord speaks to Kardama. So that means already Kardama glorified Lord. Lord appeared in front of Kardama because of his severe penances. And then, so a little background about the today's verses. Already, as we discussed in the chapter, the previous division, that means Kardama Muni already glorified the Lord because Lord appeared in front of him because of his severe penances for 10,000 years or thousands and thousands of years. And little background about what he prayed and what Lord is. Today's verse starts with what is the response to Kardama Muni to the by the Lord. So Kardama Muni speaks, I offers my obeisances unto you who destroy the desire to enjoy by giving realization of your sweetness. Number 2, cover people with the result of their karma and giving material benediction to low persons such as me. So here Kardama Muni putting him down is such a very humble person also. And then Maitreya, thus addressed sincerely, Lord began to speak to Kardama. So what he aspires Kardama and what is his desire, we will discuss. And then today's verses dealing with knowing the desire of your heart, I have already fulfilled it. So Lord opens with Kardama Muni did some prayer, and Lord starting with knowing the desire of your heart, I have already fulfilled it, Kardama, finished. So Lord sanctioned whatever Kardama Muni requested for or prayed for. And in the next verse, the desires of people like you who fully concentrate your heart on me are never frustrated. So heart on me are never frustrated. Lord gives assurance again here. And further, the slokas goes like this: Swayambhu Manu, the emperor of this world will come to see you day after tomorrow with his wife, and these all are out of our scope. He will give his suitable, daughter to you. These all are out of our scope. But from this we can understand. So Kardama Muni praying for a very pious or good suitable partner for me to become brahmacharya ashrama to grahastha ashrama. So that is the understanding here. And once again we will get into the translation and purport of these two verses, and in the middle, whatever there in the purport, I will try to give little detail for better understanding. Hare Krishna. The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged for that, for which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. So here, the Lord sanctions already before coming in front of the Lord and requesting for big list. We all go to Tirupati and we ask for some benediction. Oh Lord, please do this, that, and all. So in that context, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, the three different forms of Vishnu, namely Karnodakashayi Vishnu. So we know, the Mahavishnu, Karnodakashayi Vishnu. So who resides in the causal ocean, and then Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Then Garbhodaga ocean. From there, Lord resides and as a Prakriti. As a material world. From Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and in each and every universe, each and every atom, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. That means from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, there is expansion of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, who is the collective Paramatma. So I would like to relate this collective Paramatma, because here Lord responds to Kardama Muni here. The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged what was in your mind. I have already arranged for that, for which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. So here further in the purport for the understanding, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Paramatma features, Prabhupada explains, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Paramatma feature is situated in everyone's heart. So Mahavishnu, Karnodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and then Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. He therefore knows the past, present, and future of every individual person, as well as his desires, activities, and everything about him. So, like mother knows when the newborn, child feeling hungry, and what for the child is, crying, and what for this child is coming and disturbing me, mother will understand very nicely. So in such a way, he is a supreme controller, Ishvara. So the Ishvara knows very well what is this like that. And even in our day-to-day life also, we all are going to office, or even before office, let us take our body. So we are the person who control this body, the sensory needs, we are feeding whenever our body demands, feeling hungry, immediately we arrange for prasada. Whenever our mind goes down or feeling tired, then immediately we'll go and sleep. So for our body, we are Ishwaram like that. And in a company, everybody has got their different position like that. And according to their level, manager, administrator, etc., like that, they will have their own level of controlling the activities. So here Prabhupada mentioned individual persons as well as his desires, activities, and everything about him. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that he is seated in the heart as a witness. So because he is a Ishwaram, so in the Bhagavad Gita there are two parrots. One parrot is enjoying the fruit, and another bird simply watching that, aloof from that, enjoying the taste. So Lord also like that. So Lord knows what this parrot is all about. And personality of Godhead knew the heart's desire of Kardama Muni, and he had already arranged for the fulfillment of his desires. So already Lord sanctioned by pure devotee like Kardama Muni. So though it is material desire, so Lord is sanctioning. He never disappoints a sincere devotee, regardless of what he wants. Lord already told, even whatever you want, Kardama Muni has not gone to any of the demigods going and pleasing, Navagraha, that, this, Indra, Chandra. He never gone there. He very humbly submitted himself. He never disappoints, sincere devotees, regardless of what he wants. But he never allows anything which will be detrimental to the individual's devotional service. Say, mother knows, this medicine is good or not, and they went to the doctor and they have done so much of, inquiry about that, this and that. Though the child does not require, sometimes mother gives something good. At the same time, the father or a mother will not get into any of the thing which is so harmful for the child. The parents will not give any harmful, liquid or any material to the child. They are very so careful whether the child wants it or not. The parents are very careful in giving what type of toys to be given to the child. So in that way, Lord also so very conscious about what the child, the Kardama Muni, the sincere devotee wants, and also not only that, Prabhupada gives, which is not favorable for devotional service, that is also not being sanctioned by the Lord. So here the 23rd verse, meaning ends. And in the 24th verse, the Lord continued, my dear Rishi, the translation of 24th verse. The Lord continued, my dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. So let us understand from Prabhupada. Purport. Even if he has some desires, one engaged in the service of the Lord is never frustrated. Those engaged in his service are called Sakama and Akama. There are two categories of service. Those who approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead with desires for material enjoyment are called Sakama. Here Kardama Muni coming under the category of Sakama, not Akama. And those devotees, we will discuss more detail about this Sakama and Akama. And those devotees who have no material desires for sense gratification but serve the Supreme Lord out of spontaneous love. This word is very important. Spontaneous love for him are called Akama. So now Prabhupada, brings out what is the, position of Kardama Muni's, benediction or request put across, the Lord, the prayers, in front of the Lord. It clearly mentions it is purely a material, it is not spiritual. But even though Sakama devotees are divided into 4 classes. What are those four classes? Those who in distress, those who in need of money or wealth, the inquisitive, and the wise. There are 4 group of people comes under Sakama devotees. I'm repeating, there are 4 groups of people coming under Sakama devotees. They are called those who are in distress, those who are in need of money, inquisitive, and the wise. Someone worship the Supreme Lord because of bodily or mental distress. Next, someone else worship the Supreme Lord because he is in need of money. Third one, someone else worship the Lord out of inquisitiveness to know him as he is. And someone wants to know the Lord as a philosopher can know him by the research work of his wisdom. So Prabhupada mentions all these 4 are recommended. Instead of going to Indra and Chandra, if you are coming to Supreme Personality of Godhead, gradually one can elevate to the level of spontaneous love. So such an elevation one will get those who are coming to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also Krishna assures here, there is no frustration for any of these four classes of men. There is no frustration of any of these four classes of men. Each is endowed with the desired result of his worship. So here the purport of 24th verse, ends here. And again, as we discussed, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto and 3rd chapter, 10th verse, it is mentioned associated with this 24th verse. So Bhagavata says, Prabhupada mentioned, so Bhagavata says, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kamo udara dihi. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. If you are actually advanced with knowledge, either you desire material propensity or you desire liberation from material bondage or you desire to be engaged in Krishna consciousness. The third one is Akama. You simply try to be engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. If you want any material prosperity, that can also be achieved by devotional service. This point is very important. If you want any material prosperity, that can also be achieved by devotional service. So by coming and surrender to the Krishna. And let us discuss little detail about Sakama according to Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter. And I'd like to share also. So little detail about Sakama according to so in 7th chapter, Krishna gives little more detail about what is the category of these four group. That as we discussed, these devotees, Sakama devotees are categorized into four more categories. So from verse number 18, so verse number 18 to 3 verses, it is being explained. Let us look into what it is. Not from 18. Yeah, from 16, sorry. From the verse number Bhagavad Gita 16, it is being, more elaborated way. It is mentioned that who all are four group of people coming under Sakama. So that is Kardama Muni. So Kardama Muni, here Prabhupada mentioned in one of the quality of this, four category of this Sakama category. And here in the 16th verse, it is mentioned Sukritiness. There are people, those who are pious. Four kinds of pious people who surrender unto the Lord. So how to understand this Sukritiness? Who all are coming under Sukritiness? Defined as follows: pious people, adherent of regulative principles of scriptures. Number 3, follow moral and social laws. And fourth one is more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Here the word is important, more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. They need material benefit only, but even though they have come to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such a people coming under the category of Sukritiness. And four category of this Sukritiness being discussed here: pious men. Who all are pious men? Artha, those who are in distress, as we discussed in the purport, and wealth seeker, Artharthi. So here it is mentioned Artharthi is a wealth seeker, and then Jignashu. So this Jignashu is a inquisitive people, and the fourth category of people, Jnani, one who desires knowledge of absolute truth. So they are coming under Jnani. And are they pure devotees? Now immediate question arises. These four category of Sakama devotees, Are they pure devotees? So here in the purport, Prabhupada mentions 16th verse of 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita. No, because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. No, because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. That means they have some other agenda to approach the Lord. Pure, now, pure devotional service explained. So what is this pure devotional service here? Render transcendental loving service favorably. Favorably. In due course, they associate with pure devotees and get purified. Achieve pure devotional service. Pure devotional service explained here in 2 points. One is render transcendental loving service favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. Now, Kardama Muni is not in this akama. Here the akama is pure devotional service explained here. Render transcendental loving service favorably without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculations. This point is very important. Now, our point is understanding more about Sakama, 4 divisions of devotees, and destiny of Sukritiness. So, okay, Kardama Muni also falls under these 4 categories. And what would be their destiny? Here, Prabhupada mentions in the purport. They follow devotional service for above 4 reasons. They follow devotional service for above 4 reasons. So whatever we have discussed, distress, seeking of money, inquisitive, and then knowledge, jnana. And in due course, they associate with pure devotees and get purified. So they all are in a very good platform. Like Kardama Muni is a well-qualified Vaishnava to get into a Suddha Sattva in that way. Achieve pure devotional service. That state, we can say he is in Sattva mood. Achieve pure devotional service. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Prabhupada, explained that. And further, at what stage these 4 Sukritians become pure devotees? That means, how come these 4, this Sakama people can come into Akama, right? Category. Here the detail. When they are free from all material desires, when they are free from all material desires, here the Kardama Muni not coming under this particular level of the category. When they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, when they fully, whomever it may be, Indra, Chandra, including all this all pious people, those who are in Surgaloka, all other demigods also, including Brahma. So here, when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement. So this is the answer for at what stage do these 4 Sukritians become pure devotees. So with this state, one can become Akamas. So we'll discuss further more about Akamas. So here the answer is given in Bhagavad Gita. How the 4 this category of Sakamas devotee, including Kardama. And then what is the hope of miscreants in regard to devotional service? This is not subject to our discussion for the day. So here the summary of this 16th verse clearly states that there are Sakama devotees divided into 4 categories: distressed, wealth seeker, inquisitive, one who desires knowledge of absolute. And are they pure in devotees? Are they pure devotees? No, because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. And again, the next pure devotional service means the Sakama, Akama means what? Here the answer is render transcendental loving service favorably without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculations, right? And what would be the destiny of this Sakama devotees? They follow devotional service based on the 4 reasons. In due course, they associate with pure devotees and get purified, right? They are from Sattva to Suddha Sattva. It is possible. Achieve pure devotional service, and then the 4 Sukritians become pure devotees. So this is the understanding of this, particularly in Bhagavad Gita 16th verse. It is being mentioned, and further we will discuss more about Akama, because here it is being discussed these 2, and we'll see this Akama, and also the most emphasized word is spontaneous love. So how to understand this Akama devotees or spontaneous love? So here, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, devotional service in spontaneous love is vividly expressed and manifested by the inhabitants of Vrindavana. Their devotional service is called Raganuga Bhakti, or devotional service following in the wake of spontaneous. So we all know Krishna's headache story in Krishna Lila, in Krishna book. When there is a headache for Krishna, and Krishna told the forehead should be smeared or applied with pure devotees dust. So the dust of the feet of the pure devotee. Then immediately Narada Muni went all 3 worlds. He went everywhere and asked Kailasa, Lord Shiva, this is a appeal from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to remove the headache of the Lord, we need to apply the pure devotees dust of the feet. Then Lord Shiva told, no, it is a big offense for me. I cannot get into this. Then Brahmaloka, then all other lokas being visited by Narada Muni, and then no other demigod ready to give the dust of their feet. Finally, Narada Muni approached the Brajavasis, Vrindavan. They approached. Narada Muni narrated the situation. Then immediately every Brajavasis started giving their dust of the feet. There is no condition. They are in different world. Goloka Vrindavan. They are in that mood. So that stage is called it as spontaneous love or akama. So spontaneous love. So there is no question of conditional. So but because of this, that, no. So that is the mood of a pure devotee. They comes under the category of akama bhakti or akama devotees. And again, for supporting to the same spontaneous love, again from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22.161, it is mentioned that Krishna has many types of devotees. Some are servants, some are friends, some are parents, and some are conjugal lovers. We all know this is Damodar month, how Yashoda Mai being glorified and being accepted by the Lord Krishna as a pure devotee. Devotees who are situated in one of these attitudes of spontaneous love according to their choice are considered to be on the path of spontaneous loving service, the Navavida Bhakti. So let us take this Navavida Bhakti and all the devotees, those who are example for this Navavida Bhakti, they all falls under the category of Akama. They don't care about any other material benediction or anything, whatever they want. Even Dhruva Maharaj also started with the material requirement. But finally, when Dhruva Maharaj sees the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately he has become purified. In that context, we can understand what is the level of Akama Bhakti. So the Brajavasis, I don't care, in that mood. So when Krishna's friend, it is very interesting to understand, when Krishna's friend, always Krishna has, the desire to fight with Sridama. Always, Sridama wins in the wrestling match. And when Krishna, after killing Kamsa, he was sitting on the gigantic body of Kamsa, and this, Sridama comes there and sees, this, the entire arena was so glorifying Krishna like that after the death of Kamsa, and Krishna also sitting on the body of Kamsa in such a, posture. By seeing that, Sridama is asking, easy Krishna, who I have defeated yesterday? Like that. No, I will not believe you. This is not Krishna. Like that. Then afterwards, Krishna comes to, that mood of, that friend with Sridama. And then when fighting, again, Krishna, enjoys that, what is that, the true devotees, desire. Then Sridama wins. Then Sridama glorifies. Yes, this is Krishna only. So I thought, he's not Krishna, but he's Krishna only who killed Kamsa, because I want Krishna, so I am accepting he is a Krishna. So Krishna's mood is always in that way. One should understand the stage of Akama Bhakti, right? Even we can see the mood of Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes in his journey to US in Jaladuta, he writes one poem. My dear Lord, I am a puppet in your hand. You make me, you make me to sing, I will sing. You make me to dance, I will dance. So that means the surrender with unconditionally. So otherwise, the ISKCON movement is the evidence for, Lord's sanction, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, and also in many scriptures it is mentioned, my Senapati Bhakta will go and spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Without the sanctioning of the mood of Prabhupada, Lord's sanction. Right? There are many scholars in India. There are so many, so-called, devotees are there in every parampara. But how it is possible only for Prabhupada? Because that much elevation from, Sakama to Akama Bhakti, then only it is possible. Otherwise, simply, it is only a speculation or, in the level of this. It is favorable. So we all, it is even mentioned in, what to say, in Satya Yuga, 4 out of 4, all are very, pious and great devotees. Then gradually it is reduced to 3 out of 4 in Treta Yuga. Then Dwapara Yuga, 50-50, 4 out of 2. But in Kali Yuga, only one portion of the people are pious. So where is the question of, purification? Where is the question of, this elevation from Sakama to Akama level? So it is a very rare opportunity. So only the people who falls to the category of this, Sakama, they could favorably, they could try. Even Krishna says, out of many births, very few, out of thousands, one will attain me in Bhagavad Gita. So it's like, rarest of the rare, Sudurlabha. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a person is very rare. So we all, should aspire to, first get into, especially, I'll put me into the example, should get into this Sakama level at least, then we can elevate slowly or gradually. Prabhupada says, gradually one can elevate to the Akama level. So that is a point here. And one more supporting point from Srimad Bhagavatam for Akama is Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 7th chapter, 11th verse. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions, one who has developed transcendental knowledge never acts whimsically. One who has developed transcendental knowledge never acts whimsically, or they will not imitate. And Srila Rupa Goswami describes 2 stages of devotional service, Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. We all are ISKCON followers are Raganuga Bhakti. 2 stages of devotional service. One is Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. How it is related to this is here. Raganuga Bhakti is the stage of spontaneous love of Godhead, whereas Sadhana Bhakti means the conscious practice of the regulative principles of devotional service, whereas the Sadhana Bhakti means the conscious practice of the regulative principles of devotion. So here, what is this Raganuga Bhakti explains is the stage of spontaneous love, the spontaneous love of Godhead. So ISKCON tries to bring every jiva to come to the stage of this spontaneous love of Godhead. So that is a supporting statement from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.7.11. So as a quick summary, in this, what we learned from these two verses are, see, Kardama Muni requested for a wonderful, wife, and Lord understands his desire because his father told, Lord Brahma told, to create, the progeny of this world should start from, you. And we know the Swayambha Manu, the atmosphere and everything. It is so favorable. For anything, for everything, it is better to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead instead of going for Indra and Chandra. And then here it is very clear that Lord answers, knowing the desire of your heart, I have already fulfilled it. So Lord answered, I know that you are desiring to get into a Grahasthasrama. It is being sanctioned, and how it is being sanctioned and how that and all, in the coming verses we can see. But in the next verse, the desire of people like you who fully concentrate your heart on me are never frustrated. So, and also, Lord assures, you have come to me, so I will take care. So the child immediately, if there is any danger, runs and strongly holds the feet of the parents. So likewise, a leg of the parents in such a way. Kardama Muni also very pious and very dovetailed is seeking with Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I hope this is the short summary of today's two verses, and here we will stop for the day. And if there are any queries and suggestions, most welcome. If any of the senior devotees wants to add something, also most welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I had an inquiry to make. I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. And in multiple places, I have read that there are 4 classes in less intelligent people. And one of them is women as well. And mostly this foundational kind of scriptures like Mahabharata is written for the betterment of less intelligent classes like women. So I wanted to understand from you why women are categorized as less intelligent.
Yeah. No, Prabhupada, very directly, yes, it is there in the scripture. That is a fact. One thing, it's very hard to accept. See, if I am in the woman body, we have that, inquisitiveness or, how, it is being mentioned, but let us, irrespective of the gender, first let us understand, we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. So how many of us have arrived to this, fundamental understanding, we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. If I came to understand this particular stage, then I no need to bewilder about these kind of scriptural injunctions. Yes, it looks like inferior, but we are not the body. That one should come to the conclusion. I am not the body. Why I should worry about all those things, though it is mentioned in the scripture. So I am a spirit soul. The spirit soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, as pure as, like today context we say, am I equivalent to this social status? Am I equivalent to, Ambani? Am I equivalent to, this, Narendra Modi? Am I equivalent to, Aishwarya Rai's beauty? So that is not the point here. The point is God has provided, all these 6 opulences in different levels to the people. So in that context also one could think, I am in this body, I am, you take even in a Varnashrama also, right? Somebody might have been getting into all this, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and then, Sudra. But everybody has given an opportunity, whomever it may be, given an opportunity to elevate from, according to today's context also, to elevate one from Sakama Bhakti to Akama Bhakti. So that is the point. Even a Chandala could elevate from one, that position to this position. What to speak about, this scriptural, mentions about this, because naturally women tend to be so attached. It is good. So let us, what is the property of, gold? Accept as it is. Why not this property of gold is not like that? Right? Our curiosity, okay, I'm comparing with gold, so I am so happy with that analogy. Suppose if we compare with, ordinary, iron-like metal or plastic-like, material, so why it is being, mentioned plastic-like material? So nothing to get into that, way of analysis. So let us take it further. What is the use of, my Prabhupada mentioned, though you may be a Shudra, though you may be a, Vaishya, though you may be a Kshatriya, though you may be a, Brahmana, you dovetail your, activity to that particular understanding of soul. And another analogy also I can share. Say this whole body, has body parts are there. So every body part has got, its own, inferior and, superior, mindset. So, but what will happen if the hand and, if the leg, if the, digestive system or a head fails to do its duty, right? No, it's a purpose of, serving the entire, a system to the body, right? Though without leg, this head cannot function. So Prabhupada also mentioned one can elevate even from the level of, dog eater, Chandala, to the, level of, Uttamadhikari. It is not, why I am born in a poor family, why I am not, beautiful, why I am born in the body of a woman, and why I am born, in the body of a, animal, like that. That is not the criteria. Some of the animals has got, chance to elevate. So we know, the deer also got that, level of, attaining the liberation. So this is not that easy, to take form as a human form. Human form also, 4 lakh human forms are there. So why to worry about that? Everybody, progressing towards, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, all these things. But even for a species, they have got opportunity to elevate, to the Uttamadhikari. So why we have to feel, so inferior? It is mentioned in the scripture. Maybe it is a nature of that, that particular body. But one, if arrived to the conclusion, I am not the body, there is no question of, putting, until I have the thinking of, I am the body, then this that inferiority, will come. If I am not the body, then everything will be, Sukama to Akama level. So the first one should come to the elementary level of I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. Then all these things will be vanished. Say if there is some impure water, keep on one pours, good water, pure water into that, all this impure water will go away. So it doesn't matter whether I am born as a Kshatriya, whether I am born as a, a Shudra, whether I am born as a woman, whether I am born as a Chandala, doesn't matter. Prabhupada told in Kali Yuga, Harer Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Gadiranyata. The one who strongly chants, definitely one day they will become a pure devotee. So all these impurities, all this inferiorness, all these things, no matter. So this is what my understanding. I hope I understood your question properly, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, I mean, I'm happy that I'm in the human form of life. I have the intelligence to understand a little bit of the absolute truth. My only question, this question came just to understand the reasoning, the rationale behind why. That's all. Otherwise, I'm not. I'm very happy. I don't lament about the fact.
Yes, how many of them feel proud, even, how many of them coming to the conclusion that I am not the body, I am a spirit soul. Rarest
Yeah.
of the rare. Krishna mentioned, Sudurlabha. So such a soul, finding such a soul only very rare. So I have arrived, to Krishna, understanding that, I am not the body, and like Kardama Muni, he needs some material benefit. So he has come. So though I have born as a, woman body, so it may be, the so-called inferior, character or something, is narrated there, but we no need to bother about that. So the all six opulence, then we will become, Bhagavan, right? That should be the understanding. Like, it is mentioned, one cannot have with everything. So why we have to put down? Say, today I am feeling so proud. I am, like Ambani. I am the richest person, but I am not a scientist. But I am not a scholar. A scholar like, Prabhupada. I am not like, a devotee like, pure devotee. So we have to aspire for that. Forget about, there are so many don'ts are there. My Siksha Guru Vidur Madhadas Prabhu always in his BV he mentions. So there are so many don'ts with us. Forget about those don'ts. Focus more into do's. Automatically one day we will be, away from all these, things. So that should be our focus, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thanks. Nice question. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. There are 6 devotees right now. So once again, thanks to all devotees for joining morning Bhagavatam session. ISKCON Seshadripuram. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thanks for joining. So we will end the session now.